Meanwhile, England entered a strict national lockdown to curb the spread of COVID infections. Aribel Celestino joins us live from the United Kingdom. Hello, Aribel.
Hi, Alma. And yes, England entered a strict national lockdown aimed at stemming a steep rise in virus cases that a senior government minister warned could last into March. Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced the measures, including schools closure and a ban on leaving home except for exercise and essential shopping on Monday evening. Let's listen in.
That means the government is once again instructing you to stay at home. You may only leave home for limited reasons permitted in law, such as to shop for essentials, to work if you absolutely cannot work from home, to exercise, to seek medical assistance, such as getting a COVID test, or to escape domestic abuse. Today, the United Kingdom's chief medical officers have advised that the country should move to alert level 5, meaning that if action is not taken, NHS capacity may be overwhelmed within 21 days. If our understanding of the virus doesn't change dramatically once again, if the rollout of the vaccine programme continues to be successful, if deaths start to fall as the vaccine takes effect, and critically, if everyone plays their part by following the rules, then I hope we can steadily move out of lockdown, reopening schools after the February half-term and starting cautiously to move regions down the tiers.
Michael Gove told Sky News on Tuesday morning that he could not say precisely when the lockdown announced, as lasting 6 weeks, would be lifted, warning of very, very difficult weeks. The measures will be reviewed from February 15, he said, but the government cannot predict with certainty whether they will be lifted then. The measures begin in England on Tuesday morning and will become law in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland are also bringing in strict lockdowns, including closures of school. The lockdown comes as the surge of new strain of the virus that is said to be more infectious threatens to overwhelm hospitals despite the rollout of 2 vaccines, including UK's own Oxford University AstraZeneca shot from Monday, bringing hopes of beating the virus in the coming months. The UK has already vaccinated over 1 million people. A total of 58,784 people tested positive in the UK on Monday, with cases in the last 7 days up 50% on the previous week. Over to you, Alma.
Well, you also mentioned schools are also closing in Britain as part of the national lockdown. Can you tell us more about this and what support will be given to students?
Yes, Alma, that's right. In England, all schools will not open until at least February half-term. So you can imagine the distress and inconvenience this will cause parents for the last-minute changes, Alma. Mm-hmm. Primary and secondary schools will move to remote learning for most students. The only pupils that can go to school physically will be the vulnerable children and whose parents are critical workers. Mm-hmm. Universities and colleges will use remote learning to teach students until mid-February, but courses for future critical workers are exempt. Also, Alma, there are students who are entitled to free school meals, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson said they will give extra support to ensure they continue to receive them while schools are closed. He also said that more electronic devices will be available to support remote learning, Alma. Mm-hmm. Back here.
What about the rest of the UK? Are they imposing similar restrictions on schools?
Well, Alma, yes. Alma, in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland are also reopening later than usual. Mm-hmm. Scotland schools will stay closed to most students until 1st of February using remote learning. Universities and colleges can use a more restricted mix of face-to-face and distance learning. In Wales, schools and colleges will use online learning until the 18th of January, except children of critical workers, vulnerable ones, and learners who need to complete important exams or assessments. And in Northern Ireland, primary schools will use online learning until the 11th of January. In secondary schools, year 8 to 11 will do the same all of January, while year 12 to 14 are set to go back to school from the second week of January. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much for your update, Aribel. Stay safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Alma. Reporting from the United Kingdom, I'm Aribel Celestino. We live in interesting times.